This week in Grace's Girls Club, I am joined by Haley Patterson. Haley, welcome. We're so glad you're here. Tell us a little bit about you, what your job title is, and the company you work for.
Well, thank you so much, Grace, for having me. I'm really excited about this opportunity. But I actually work at what is called the Combat Capability Development Command, Aviation and Missile Center. I know that's like a really long name, but usually we just shorten it to DevCom AVMIC. So if I'm referring to it, it's probably going to be AVMIC whenever I talk about it. But so I work at AVMIC. And I am a test engineer. So right now, what I'm doing is I do all the test planning and test execution for any of the Patriot missile system missile flight tests that we have. So it's been a really fun job, and I've been in this job for about a year or so, and I'm loving it.
That sounds incredibly cool. So walk me through your day to day. What does a day in the life look like for you?
So usually the test planning takes a lot more time than the actual test execution does. So a lot of it is kind of working with some of our different partners out at the range to figure out times to work with them and when we can actually shoot, and just working with different people on what our equipment is going to be that we use out on the range. And also just working with some of the other product offices that we have here on Redstone. So we get to work with a lot of different people, and so mine is specifically on the missile, but we have radars and other parts that play into the actual flight test where we get to work with some of those people. And that's kind of what the day in the life looks like, just working with those people to try and get a successful test put out there.
Absolutely. That is so cool. So, of the letters in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, which letter or sequence of letters would you say most applies to your job?
I really think that the first three, like science, technology, and engineering, because when you're testing out missiles, you really do need to know like the science, kind of how it works, but also, what technologies are used within these missile systems. And if they break, what kind of engineering parts that do we need to do, or what
Hmm.
other engineering that can we do within the missile systems to really understand like how we can get successful tests put out there.
Absolutely. That's such an important component of it. Honestly, I hadn't even thought of that. But once a missile breaks or in any way malfunctions, being able to fix that very expensive, very in-depth piece of equipment.
Oh, yes, for sure. Yeah. And these are older, legacy systems. If people know, the Patriot missile's been out there since like the 70s. So a lot of times we're working with some of these missiles that have been kind of sitting in storage, and we're bringing them back out and trying to see if they still work. And so there's a lot of like different engineering components that go into trying fixing these and making sure that they're good to go for our soldiers.
Haley, I'm just picturing all of those Nicolas Cage movies when he, what are those called? When he goes to steal the Constitution? National Treasure.
Oh,
All of
yeah.
those National Treasure
Yeah.
ones. And everything is so old, it's hundreds of years old, and he's trying to find ways to make it work, which granted is not exactly your situation, but I'm just thinking about how cool that is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. It's a pretty cool job to get to work with it. And then there's people, that I work with that have worked on this missile system since like the conception of it. So they really
Yeah.
have a great understanding of it. And it's really nice to utilize some of those people because when you're new and fresh to the missile world like me, there's a lot of people out there that really have that in-depth knowledge, whether they've like actually been out like on the field as a soldier
Hmm.
using that equipment, or they've just been like in the same job and just loved it and stayed in it the entire time.
That is so cool. That really is so cool. I like
Mhm.
that you have both sides of that in your field. So, speaking of your field, walk me through what your educational path was to get here. What type of schooling did you go through? What degree do you have? How educationally did you get to where you are today?
So I went to the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa, so roll tide. But I did mechanical engineering there, and kind of how that started was, I decided that I was good at math and I was good at science and I liked problem solving, and all of that kind of came together and said, okay, maybe I should do engineering and see how that goes. Well, there's a lot of different types of engineering out there. And I really thought that mechanical would give me like a good like breadth of different things. So if I decided maybe, I don't like the chemical side of it or some of the other areas of engineering, like mechanical could give me a little bit of everything. So I decided to do that. And I didn't really decide that I really wanted to be an engineer until I did my co-op. So, like, they have a co-op program at the University of Alabama where you can sign up to like you work a semester and then you go to school a semester and you go back and forth. So it kind of
Mm-hmm.
delays your graduation, but you do get that experience, kind of like an internship, but it continues on
Right.
for 3 semesters. And I actually worked at a carpet manufacturing plant, so completely different from what I'm doing right now. But it really did kind of open my eyes into like, you know, I can actually like really make a difference, even if it's like something small like carpet. You can really make a difference in being in the engineering field and see like how your products get successfully used or successfully made whenever you have a hand in doing it. So um, that's kind of the path that I took. And then when I first started at AVMIC, they offered an opportunity for us to get our master's paid for. So I got my master's at Auburn, but I don't like to tell a lot of people
Oh,
that
I was
because,
gonna say, are you gonna say it?
no, 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 no. When it comes to the two teams, I roll with the tide. But no, it was just a really good opportunity because they had an engineering management program there. And a guy that I had worked with previously had told me, he said, hey, if you do this program, I'll make sure that whatever you learn in school does pertain to what you're doing at work. And that's all you can really ask for when you are
Hmm.
taking classes in school. Um, so that's kind of how I got to where I was in AVMIC.
Absolutely. So the co-op that you did, that a lot of my friends also did the same thing. For young girls that are interested in being engineers and joining the STEM field, would you recommend a similar path? Would you recommend they do a co-op?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because I think internships are really great, but with co-ops, you kind of get to see a bunch of different areas. So whenever I did my co-op, I was in 3 different plants each semester. So I got to do like process improvement one semester, and then I got to work with the maintenance team one semester. And like I got to work on different products on all of those different ones. So I highly recommend because it kind of shows you like what you do want to do and what you don't want to do
Hmm.
because I realized, when I was working there that I really did not like the fast pace making carpet. It was super stressful because that's all the carpet that they put out that, they put in apartments. So they're trying to build it fast and
Sure.
like efficiencies are really important. And I realized that that was probably not the life for me. But I really liked getting to go out there and like in the process improvement side and learn like, okay, how is everything working and what difference can we make to make it better? So it's a very good if the schools that they're at has a co-op program, they 100% should do it. I think it's a great opportunity.
Absolutely. It sounds key. Our field doesn't do co-ops, we do internships, but that was invaluable.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking, if you multiply that all the way up to a co-op, that absolutely would be priceless in your field.
Of course, yeah. And if you end up going to a good school, you'll get another, football season or
Never, I would
so that
never
helps
complain
out.
about that. I would never, ever complain about that.
Yes.
So, Haley, what is the best part of your job?
I think that the best part is honestly just like having real purpose to what you're doing. You wake up and you're like, what I'm doing today is like benefiting the warfighter. It's
Mm,
not for me, it's for our country and it's for, the people that are out there, fighting for us. So I honestly think it's like really knowing that the purpose of like what I'm doing each day is benefiting not only like our soldiers, but just, our country in general.
absolutely. I completely agree. And that's one of the coolest things about our country is we have so many boots on the ground soldiers and folks in the military that we couldn't possibly be more grateful to. But then we also internally build up these really incredible, very intelligent people and use them to solve the problems to help those boots on the ground folks. I love that you get to be a part of that.
Yes. Yeah, I love it too. And it's crazy that all these people are, or most of them sit in Huntsville. I mean, there's
Yeah.
people scattered all over doing things, but like I grew up here or around this area, like in Hartselle, and so my mindset was kind of, I think I might want to move away and go somewhere else, but like the job opportunities in Huntsville are just so great and awesome that like it made it really hard to leave, and so I ended up staying.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I'm sure the Army is glad that you did. So,
Yes.
if that was the best part of your job, what is one of the main challenges that you have to face every day that you have to resolve at work?
I think that probably for challenges, there's probably two components to this. I talked about how like some of the technology is older, and so there's a lot of like kind of fire burning that kind of happens out of nowhere. You're like, oh, well, this part's not working, so we can't do this.
Hmm.
Um, Sorry, my headphone came out. So there's like, little fires that you have to deal with on the technology side of it. And then there's also the component of just, keeping good communication with everyone. Sometimes it can be challenging because there are a lot of people that work on the parts. And so you just want to make sure that you're in the loop and that you're understanding what's going on. Even though that can be a challenge, I think that our group does really good about that. But that's probably the two most challenging parts.
I could definitely see that. So, if you had to do it all over again, start all over, would you choose this career?
Absolutely. Yes. I mean, like I said, I'm enjoying the fact that I get to do something that's really impactful every day. Um, I originally wanted to be a math teacher,
Hmm.
and I think that, that would be something very impactful, but I'm really getting to enjoy doing it, being impactful in a different way.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I do have one last question for you, Haley, and then I'm going to let you get back to work. I know how busy you are. But if you had a message to young girls or young students who wanted to join the STEM force themselves, what would your message to them be?
I think my biggest message is to like, if there's any opportunities in front of you, reach out and take them. There are, I went to Grissom High School not too long ago, and I saw like all the stuff that they have going on when it comes to like their nursing program and they have engineering classes and stuff. Take the opportunity to take those classes and really like determine if that's what you want to do. I know that it's kind of hard, at 18 years old to try and figure out what do I want to do with my life, but you still have plenty of time, and it's good to find out what you like and what you don't like at least. Um, and just, keep an open mind about different areas, because you might think that's probably not something I'd want to do, but then later on in life it might end up being something that's in front of your face and you really enjoy doing it. So
Absolutely. That is great advice. That really, really is. Well, Haley, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your expertise and your journey with us. I really appreciate you being here.
well, thank you so much for having me, Grace.
Welcome officially to Grace's Girls Club.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Bye.